The jokes that Andrew Schulz made in his podcast are not okay. Andrew Schulz is a comedian based in New York. At least I think he's in New York. And it's actually really unfortunate because I grew up watching this show called Guy Code. It was a show on MTV where a bunch of comedians would get on there and just say random ass shit about like things that guys like to do. It was actually a really funny show and the perspective was funny. They had Girl Code right after. And it was actually both of those shows were really good. I actually really enjoyed them. And that's how I first got introduced to Andrew Schulz. And I thought he was funny. I actually thought he was funny. But then he just started getting problematic for whatever reason. I understand he's a troll and trolls just live off this shit, but there are just certain things you can't say. Everyone has to understand that sometimes there's just a line that you don't cross. And sexual assault and rape are one of those lines. First, Andrew Schulz started to get into hot water because fucking James and Fuhad were on there talking about how there's no baddies in Atlanta and laughing at jokes where Andrew Schulz was calling black women abusive, which is an issue in itself. And he started getting flamed for that. Black women got offended, understandably so. We're always deemed as aggressive and abusive and angry when we just want to express ourselves. Now, not saying that violence is us expressing ourselves, but that's just the stereotype. And that's why black women got so upset. Perpetuating that type of stereotype is so harmful and hurtful. Andrew Schulz essentially laid a trap for James and Fuhad, and they fell right into it. They started getting canceled. They started getting a lot of people shitting on them, especially black women, and it just all started going downhill. Fast forward to November 2024, and Kendrick drops an album. On the first song is Whacked Out Murals. And Kendrick has the line, "Don't let no white comedian talk about black women, that's law." Essentially referring to the situation, supposedly, but maybe just in general. From my perspective, and seems to be the general understanding, it wasn't really directed towards Andrew Schulz or any white comedians like Gary Owens, because for some reason Gary Owens was like, "What, me?" I don't know. Gary Owens is kind of corny sometimes, but you know, that's neither here nor there right now. And that's where Andrew Schulz comes into play, saying that Kendrick dedicated this whole song to him, even though Kendrick didn't even say his name in the song lyric. And obviously it applied to a multitude of white comedians, not just him. Andrew Schulz goes on this whole tirade to say, how are you going to say that I can't talk about black women, but rap always constantly degrades black women? Which I'll get to that point in a second. But then he circles back to that point. They moved on from that. He said that, they moved on from that. Mind you, no joke was told. He didn't say anything that was fucking funny. He was more so making social commentary. And I think that's also what bothers me. That comment was more so social commentary of a culture that you're not a part of. In his recent podcast with Charlemagne, he goes to say, white people don't really know who Kendrick Lamar is. Cap, first of all. Second of all, then why the fuck are you talking about this? Why are you adding social commentary to a culture and a thing that you're not even a part of? You say people don't even know about. White people don't even know about. So why are you talking about it? They move on from the topic. They start talking about something else. I forget. And then Andrew Schulz circles back because he goes, wait, I got more to say. And he starts talking about how he wants to sexually assault Kendrick Lamar. He essentially wants to rape Kendrick Lamar because he says that if him and Kendrick were in a cell together, first of all, a cell, as in a jail cell, if they were in a cell together, then Kendrick would have to decide if it's consensual or not. Not only is it not funny, rape and sexual assault are never funny, but it's also disturbing. Why would you say that? Especially given the historical context between black and white people in the United States, why would you say that? Regardless if you're saying that Andrew Schulz was just saying that Kendrick Lamar is just so small that he just can't even do anything. First of all, Kendrick Lamar does push-ups for fun. Andrew Schulz looks like he does Pilates once a month just to keep up with his physique. Not the same. He's not like us. And you're saying, oh, you can't take a joke. A joke is just a joke. No. A good comedian not only is funny, but also understands the social climate that he's currently living in. So with everything going on in the media with Trump, black people especially are feeling attacked right now. We feel like we're on the defense because in a way we are. Now people feel that they can be overt with their racism. And then the nerve of you to come on here looking like the Fourth Reich of Hitler and say that you would sexually assault Kendrick Lamar and you don't see how that's problematic. You think that's just a joke. It's actually corny as fuck for you to think that Kendrick would really dedicate a whole song to you when he didn't even say your name in the lyric. He wasn't even really talking to you, first of all. It's also corny as fuck for you to say some reckless ass shit like that and then complain and whine about how people are allegedly commenting things under your Instagram post, returning the same energy that you're putting out into the universe and onto the internet, and now you're crying that people are making reckless ass comments about you trying to play victim. No, you asked for that. You asked for that type of energy. No one was talking to you in the first place. No one was directing at you. It's corny as fuck for you to get on that podcast with Charlamagne and deny that you were even talking about Kendrick Lamar when you said Kendrick fans go get him. Like, that's cowardly. That's corny as fuck. A great comedian also understands the power of their words. They understand that their words have power, that they have influence. And by you saying things like that, you make people who follow you think it's okay to say reckless ass shit like that, not only to Kendrick Lamar, but any black man. It's like, what is not clicking in your head? People care about what you say, regardless if you think so or not. It's also corny for you to put yourself into people's business that's not yours. You saying, oh, how are you going to talk about me talking about black women when rap degrades black women? You got the idea from a black person. You got the idea from a black man or a black woman. That has been a conversation my whole entire life about how that's problematic in rap. You are an outsider to the culture. Charlamagne, the Donkey of the Day award deserves to go to you. Because how are you going to sit there on that podcast and kiki and laugh and not reprimand that man and tell that man the actual severity of what he's saying and how problematic it is? You're saying, oh, shut the fuck up. You know how much of an issue that is. You understand that. Especially as a black man, you understand that that's disrespectful beyond measure. And for those who don't know, during slavery times, enslaved Africans would be forced into anal sex by the white slave owners as a means to show dominance, to intimidate, and obviously to emasculate. So saying something like that is not funny. It is oppressive. It does touch buttons because clearly with everything going on, we haven't really moved away from those times psychologically as a country. And saying something like that insinuates and encourages people to act in hateful ways. It's not just about you and your small circle and what the fuck y'all get into. No, your actions have repercussions. Charlamagne, is also really disappointing because now you're popping up as this public figure who is speaking about things politically, and it's actually refreshing. I've actually liked some of your takes that you've made, but you can't sit here and try to defend black people or anyone politically when you can't defend black men against one of your friends when you know they fucked up. It matters. Your impact matters. How black men see you, how young black men see you, it matters. So by you not saying anything, you not saying the record straight, even on a public forum, you seem weak too. You seem like a head ass. You seem like a fucking donkey. I can't support that. I can't support anything that you do. Rape and sexual assault are never funny. They are never things to joke about. I understand comedians can get away with everything. That's their job. But no, they can't. Honestly, God, no, they can't. You wouldn't want someone to say that about you, your family, your brother, your mother, your daughter. You shouldn't say that. Sometimes it really is that serious. Sometimes it really is that deep. And it seems like no one's being real with you because they're your friends. They don't want to tell you how fucked up this actually sounds or how fucked up this actually is because they think they know you and they know you're not like that. But I don't know you and I don't give a fuck. It's fucked up. And honestly, you should issue an apology. Do I expect that out of you? No, because you're a weak man. But it really should happen.